Hello students, I'm Akansha Tyagi and today I'll be taking your lecture on non-verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is a communication without the usage of either spoken or verbal, written or spoken words. Non-verbal communication can also be defined as a symbolic behavior where you are not using words either written or spoken to express your ideas, views, etc. etc. Now, you all must be thinking, what is non-verbal communication? Non-verbal communication is the messages or response not to express or send in the form of words. See, before language was evolved, and language is the means of sending a message in a structured way, we used to communicate. If you're making an eye contact with somebody, it is communicating one thing or other. Your face-to-face expression, your movement of the hand, the color also speaks one thing or other. The non-verbal signals are the conscious or the unconscious part of our behavior, which are deeply rooted in the part of our entire makeup. So, if you want to resolve various your personal and family-related problems, if and you're putting consciously seeing the unconscious clues given by several people, so you will be able to solve it. Now, verbal communication includes your facial expression, tone of your voice, your gesture, your eye contact, the spatial arrangement between two and more than two people, expressive movements, cultural differences, and another nonverbal acts. Now, nonverbal communication serves one of the five purposes: repeats. For example, I'm giving a direction to somebody with the help of verbal cues that move into the right direction. And with the help of my hand, I'm indicating that move into the right direction. It means I'm repeating the verbal communication with the help of non-verbal communication. Many number of times it contradicts. For example, through my words, I'm showing or expressing that yes, I will go with you, but I am winking my eye. Or for example, there is a person who is saying that I like your company, and but he's not able to make an eye to eye contact, which is showing that either he's nervous or he's not happy with the company. It substitutes. For example, you putting your finger on your lips, which means you know to talk or not to communicate. So without the usage of the verbal clues or the words you are using or substituting your non-verbal communication. Many number of times compliments. Suppose I'm very happy, I start dancing, I'm laughing or giggling. So non-verbal communication is complementing with your verbal communication. Accent. The tone, the speech or speed or the pitch of your sentences is making you an impressive speaker, and all these are the part of your non-verbal communication. Now, what is the basic difference between verbal communication and non-verbal communication? Verbal communication is simply the communication with the help of words. They can be written or they can be spoken. Anything without the words, either spoken or written, your gesture, your posture, your body language, the space between two and more than two people, your colors, the way you people are dressed up, symbols are the part of your non-verbal communication. Now, everything except the words spoken and written is a part of your non-verbal communication, and it can be of various types. For example, kindnesses, which we call as body language, your facial expression, movement of your hands, your posture are the part of kindnesses. Apart from this, there is proxemics. Proxemics is the study of spatial arrangement between two and more than two people. For example, the two girls sitting together and occupying the space which is less than 18 inches is showing that they're sharing an intimate relationship or close bond with each other. There's one more type of non-verbal communication, that is paralanguage. Para means like the language. I will like to explain it with the help of an example. Suppose I'm still saying to my student, "Where were you yesterday?" And through this statement, I'm showing a concern. But I'm using the same sentence like, where were you yesterday? My pitch has increased, my tone has increased, and which is showing anger. So para language is a language which is like your language, but it is not exact language. Your poses, your commas, your tone, your pitch of the sentences is the study of all these things is known as para language. Artifacts communication. The way you are dressed up, Your hairstyle is also communicating one thing or other, and we call this as artifact communication. And last one is your sign language. You will see many signs for commuting from your home to the college, and maximum number of times it is used by as a traffic signals. You also see a symbol of ragging is prohibited, no smoking zone, and with the help of these symbols, people try to communicate the message with the use of signs and symbol, and we call it as sign language. Now, what is kinesis? Kinesis refers to the body language, and it is the most noticeable part of your non-verbal communication. And it varies from one culture to another culture. For example, in many cultures, we have been told that eye-to-eye contact shows your confidence. But we will find people from different culture, and in their culture, it is eye-to-eye contact is seen as offensive, and you cannot make eye-to-eye contact with the elderly people. Kinesis includes your eye contact, your facial expression, your emotions, your gesture, your postures, and haptic, that is your touch. Eye to eye contact increases the credibility of the speaker. The people who make eye to eye contact shows open flow of the communication. They convey interest, concern, warmth, and credibility. See, this is the example, and we often find in the class, once a teacher poses a question to the student, many start looking up, many start looking down, many start looking here and there, and there are very few students who are able to make eye to eye contact because they only know the answer. And this is what I've shown with the help of this slide. Centered eyes means you're focused. You're gazing up, matlab you're thinking. You're gazing down. It may be because of shame, and you are gazing on side. It may be you are guilty of something. And wondering is you are bored. You're not interested in what is being taught or what is happening around you. Facial expression. Face is the index of heart. Your emotions are generally expressed through your face. If you're happy, you're laughing, you're giggling. If you're sad, you're showing it with the help of your facial expression. These are very facial expression we use in our day-to-day life. Happy, yawning, laughing, angry, shocking, etc. Now gesture. Gesture is the motion of your limbs. Limbs are your hand limbs and forelimbs, that is your hand and legs. And movement of the study of the movement of your limbs is known as your gesture. But whenever you are the gestures like complement your verbal communication, but too much use of gesture is generally considered as negative because it detract from the message. I have listed few examples of gestures like knocking on wood, handshakes, waving, saluting, and uploading. Touch, a very important part of non-verbal communication. Touch can communicate power, empathy, and understanding. Paralanguage, as already told you, para means language. Para means like, and like your normal language, paralanguage is the language in which voice, pitch of voice, tone, commas, full stops. A many number of times you use okay, several number of times oh, which shows that you people are not confident. As you can see that while verbal communication consists of what or the content of the words, paralanguage includes how speaker's voice or the way he is speaking. As I already told you, it includes pitch variation, which make you an impressive speaker. Speaking speed, you need to fluctuate in the speed. Pauses. A correct pause at the correct time is very essential for you to be an effective speaker. And fluency. Minimize the uses of the word okay, all right, oh, etc. etc. Proxemics. Proxemics is the study of the spatial arrangement between two and more than two people. There are people who are sitting closer to each other, which shows that they are sharing an intimate relationship. There may be people who are distant, and which is showing a public relationship. I listed down 0 to 18 inches of the distance between two people shows an intimate relationship. 18 inches to 4 feet shows that they're having a personal distance, and 4 feet to 12 inches shows they're sharing a social relationship, and 12 feet to as far as we can see and hear is your public distance. Kinesis. You can easily see intimate as 2 feet away from your body. People are emotionally close. We call them as intimate. Personal. one handshake away. This is generally when you're talking with your friends and you maintain that much distance. Social, 2 arms away distance is known as your social distance. Public is 3.6 meter away distance. Artifacts, your physical appearance, the way you people are dressed up, your style, your belonging, etc., are also the part of your non-verbal communication. There are many people who like to wear the way they are dressed up. It shows that they're very much organized. There are people that haphazards and they're roughly dressed up. It shows they're careless. Thank you for listening and studying. Good luck, students, and this is all for the day.